Hey there, so today we have another review. This is a beer courtesy of Jeff. I'm really excited for this one. This might be one of the most reviewed beers on the channel. If you want to skip ahead, please do to the review because I have a few things to say. This is a pretty important beer. I mean, this is probably the first Treehouse I reviewed, and it had to be like literally like, I think almost 10 years ago. I have reviews from, we're going 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. So I think the last time I actually had this beer was about 3 years ago. Got it from... somebody had it shipped down here and, figure that out. But, yeah, Treehouse Julius, shout out to Jeff. Thank you so much. Super, super appreciate it. This is about a month fresh. It's been an up and down journey with this beer. Started off with this being one of the, best IPAs I've ever had. Continued for quite a few years. And then, I would argue, maybe palate shift. And then, I didn't like as much. And then I had a batch maybe about 7 years ago that was like, okay, this is just as good as I remember it. And then I had it 3 years ago and I was like, okay, Treehouse doesn't seem to quite taste what Treehouse used to taste like. I don't know. These are all kinds of discussions that I could literally just do a whole video on about palate shift and all this other stuff. And but I'm just curious. Well, yeah, let's just dig in this beer, see how it tastes, and I'll talk about the other stuff later. Beer looks pretty proper. This beer was always quite murky, a little bit darker than some of the other hazy IPAs they do, especially green, was a little bit lighter. But yeah, full on hazy, comes in a medium gold color. It's, reasonably dark, it has an off-white head. Yeah. I mean, that smells right. That smells correct to me. Big citrusy orange notes. It's mangoes for sure, peaches. That's a big one. It's always mangoes, peaches, oranges. And what do they say on the label? The label is peach, mango, passion fruit, and melange of citrus. Okay. Yeah. I can see some passion fruit. Yeah, I mean, it has that soft doughiness as well. The doughiness is quite predominant. I don't get the juicy fruit bubblegum thing. Oh, yeah. In the back, there is certainly some. I chilled this up a bit. No, I have about the right temp. And yeah, so that's one thing I do notice on this nose. It's quite doughy malt forward. Think of oat crackers, fresh dough, oatmeal. It's a little bit sweet. It's almost like that's what it is. Fresh pasta, like fresh pulled pasta, and obviously. Cheers. I need to warm up. Honestly, I might have chilled it a little far. That's pretty darn good though. In general, the beer is very soft. Very soft. It really leans on that malt bill that I was talking about. So really, lots of it reminds me of fresh pasta, fresh noodles, like Chinese, Korean noodles, fresh pulled dough, very raw, like raw wheat kind of thing, grainy. So it really shows its fluffiness and the mouthfeel. I suspect there's a lot of wheat and or oats in here. So mouthfeel is very smooth and creamy. Yeah. In general, it doesn't quite seem like it explodes like I feel like it used to. But the mouthfeel is certainly there, and it doesn't have as much. I feel at some point I was getting a lot of chlorophyll kind of flavor to it. Here, pretty spot on. It has a little bit of that kind of green hop matter to sort of dry out the beer, but just on the verge of getting too aggressive. And then a little bit of that kind of light. Is it chalkiness? Maybe a little light chalkiness is in there as well. It's very good though. Yeah, I will say the one thing, aromatically and upfront palate, it just doesn't come off as fruit salady. Sometimes this stuff is super fruit salad, super ripe citrus, but man, does it really get the mouthfeel, that middle malt flavor, and that doughiness, and that just hint of a little bit of green chlorophyll kind of thing to offer some bitterness and dryness to the beer, right? That's darn good though. Yeah, I can definitely smash some of that. I think it's fantastic. I mean, especially in the market of IPAs out there, there's aren't many that are this good. So maybe a top batch gets 100. This gets a solid 99. It just does so much that just makes it so drinkable, delicious. Oh, soft and creamy. Honestly, I might just have a little bit too chilled. I would warm it up a couple more degrees and just really explode. But that is top notch. It's been years since I've had one, and I'm honestly very impressed. It really does remind me of what Treehouse sort of should taste like, and I mean, you guys post the comments. You guys, who am I to talk about like what Treehouse tastes like when I've had 2 cans the last or two who am I to say what Julius tastes like when I've had 2 cans in the last 3 years? I mean, that's like small sample size for you guys. I mean, hell, I think it's like 2 cans in like the last 5 years maybe. So not very useful for information for you guys. In the context of what long-term Treehouse tastes like, but in this market right now of IPAs that I've tasted, then again, granted, I don't live in the Northeast anymore. How frequently do I review? I mean, they are available, but how frequently do I do review? Other half, Equilibrium, Sapwood Cellars has blown me away. What was it? Roaring Table has blown me away. Pariah even. There's certainly some world-class breweries that I have tasted. When the last time I read Monkish even like. In that context, this beer is still quite unique. Very few beers. It's hard for, especially with so many New England IPA producers, to make beers that taste like the brewery. And this one just tastes like Julius. Julius is quite distinct, especially that fluffy, doughy mouthfeel, that big nose, a little bit of bubble gumminess, that mango, huge citrus and stone fruit character, very treehousey and very Julius-y. So 99, absolutely delicious. Until next time, guys, thank you so much, Jeff. This is super awesome. I'm really excited to have this one again. Cheers later.